Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you know what it is. It's the world's most dangerous podcast.
Dope Dealers Podcast.
Episode 74.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Come back strong and for more, I guess, yeah. That's why I don't freestyle no more.
Yeah, nigga, you should have just said
Yeah.
that same rhyme you
Episode
always
70
say, nigga. Hit us with that same rhyme.
It's the capital J to the A to the M to the A to the L. That's Jamal for those suckers out there who can't spell. That means you're literate. Fuck with me, don't even consider it. Why would you do that and get lit up like a cigarette? Woo!
That is garbage. I don't even believe that shit.
It's going down, man. It's going down. It's
man.
your boy at Jamal Doman, at Jamal Doman, JamalDoman.
Tobe Hixx, at Tobe Hixx, TOBEHIXX.
Yes, and hit us up on Instagram or Twitter at Dope Dealers Podcast. Dope Dealers Podcast. Hit us up. Instagram was down all day today, Toby.
Yeah,
I
man.
know motherfuckers probably went crazy, man.
Yeah, I had shit to do, so I didn't even notice that shit. Shout out to the troops, man. The Army, the Navy, the Air Force, Marines, the Coast Guard, the National Guard, the Bloods, and the Crips.
Yes. We do this for you guys, man.
Man, and rest in peace, Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker.
My goodness. One of the greatest fighters of all time.
That people don't even recognize. And I'm still waiting to see, like, I need an explanation. And what I mean is that he got hit by a car. Okay, was he drunk walking across the street?
Yeah.
Or was the person drunk driving?
Yeah. Or was it just an accident? Just an accident. Yeah. I'm sure they on it. And 55 years old. Some of you young bucks out there may not, Pernell Whitaker was basically Floyd Mayweather before Floyd Mayweather. He was Floyd Mayweather without the flash. Just a great fighter. 1984 gold medal Olympian. Just a superb boxing technician. He wasn't a knockout guy, even though later in his career he got power. But I think he started out at lightweight, 135. Max Kellerman said he's the greatest lightweight Max Kellerman ever he's seen. A lot of people say Roberto Duran, but definitely Pernell Whitaker. Just a boxing, boxing. He was just so good, man. I watched him and just shut people out. He was a defensive guru, man. He you know what I mean. And then late in his career, where he got some power, he started knocking people out. That was
Yeah, I know he got robbed with that
Julio Cesar. One of the biggest robberies ever
in boxing.
In boxing was he fought Julio Cesar Chavez and he whipped his ass. He fought him in El Paso? It was somewhere in Texas they fought with like 70,000 Mexicans. Yeah. And so it was no way they was gonna give you. Yeah, the Mexicans would have rioted. That's why.
Yeah, especially back then.
Yeah, man. So they gave him a draw. They couldn't have him lose. So they made it a draw, and it's considered one of the greatest boxing robberies in history, man. It was April 1995, man. He won a gold medal at the 1984 Summer Olympics. He was a champion in 4 weight classes, man. Left-handed defensive master in the boxing ring. He was just a boxer, man. The sweet science, that's what he was, man. Sweet pea. You could stand. Jim Lampley of HBO said he could stand in front of you and you couldn't find him. He would smile at you and demonstrate to you while smiling how remarkably easy this was for him. Yeah, he did shutouts. He was Floyd, without the money. I mean, without that, the big pay-per-view that it was now. Yeah, man. He beat some great fighters. Buddy McGirt, man. The victory over McGirt set him up for a much-anticipated fight against Julio Cesar Chavez at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. Whitaker and Chavez, who was 87-0 at the time, were considered two of the greatest boxers. But in the fight that many observers thought Whitaker had won easily, 2 judges called it a draw, and a third voted for Whitaker, leaving the fight ruled the draw. Yeah, man, just... So rest in peace to his family, man. The Whitaker family, they from Virginia.
Family didn't die, he did.
Oh, well, yeah, you're right. Shit. Well, rest in peace and, condolences to his family. Yeah. My bad, man. I'm trying to read.
This motherfucker, man.
Yeah, he fought Oscar De La Hoya. He beat Oscar De La Hoya too. They gave it to De La Hoya.
It's a lot happening in these cars, man. And then, like, I mean, this kind of disturbed me, man, when they and good luck going forward to Kendrick Norton, the Miami Dolphin player who lost his arm in a car accident. And you know, first thing when you hear something like that, you just hope that he wasn't intoxicated or, you know, under the influence of drugs or something like that, which they found out he wasn't, which made me feel good. Like, okay, he was sober. It was just an accident. But even though he lost his arm, the police decided that they were going to cite him with an improper lane change ticket. So this man that lost his arm, and you motherfuckers is going to give him a ticket for an improper lane change? I mean, like, come on now. So Miami police, come on with that bullshit. Like, y'all could have let that one go. Couldn't y'all give him a warning? He lost his damn arm. That fucked me up. I had to get that off my chest.
I'm reading about Whitaker. I forgot some of his, you know, I knew that he had, you know, I forgot some of his ups and downs, man. Was a great fighter.
Yeah.
So he lost to De La Hoya, but he got robbed. He won his next fight. But the ruling was changed to a no decision after, I forgot, he had a little cocaine issue. After Whitaker tested positive for cocaine, a planned fight in 1988 against Ike Corte, then the WBA welterweight champion, was scuttled when Whitaker again tested positive for cocaine. So he fought a little cocaine battle. He returned to the ring in '99. He lost to Trinidad. I remember that fight. That was when Trinidad was
fought a cocaine battle.
he
Fought
retired.
in the ring and the cocaine. Yeah, that's when I first heard he died. I was like, oh man, don't tell me he didn't OD.
Yeah. In recent years, with the millions he earned largely gone, which happens with a lot with boxers, Whitaker trained fighters include Zab Judah. Zab Judah won the IBF super lightweight title under Whitaker's tutelage. I forgot about that. He earned money at autograph shows as well. He drew some news, media, and attention in 2014 when he got into a dispute with his mother, leading him to evict her from the house he had brought her in Norfolk because she was not paying for his upkeep. Oh, wow. Woo.
Yeah, well, you gave condolences to the family. Shit.
His survivors include his sons, Davon, Dominique, Don Batavius, and his daughter, Tierra. His son, Pernell Jr., died in 2015. His marriage ended in divorce. Man, so like a lot of boxers after they retired, he had some tough
shit. I hope he didn't walk in front of the car. All that shit he had going on.
Man, just one of the greatest fighters of all time. So rest in peace, Pernell Whitaker.
Sweet P.
Sweet P, man. You young people listening, go to YouTube and YouTube some of his fights. The James Buddy McGirt fight, the Roger Mayweather fight. Look at some of them fights, man. The Julio Cesar Chavez fight, man. Joe, check him out, man. Tobe Hixx, this weekend, I celebrated my 20th year.
It was great.
Sold out show. Shout out to everybody who came out, man. Everybody who came out, man. We really appreciate you guys, man. And I was very happy. Everybody came out. I sold a lot of tickets. The J Spot actually called me yesterday, like, when you want to do another show?
And nigga, another 20 years. What the fuck is they talking about?
I'm talking about another comedy shit.
I know that. But,
so they was very, and shout out to all the comedians. You performed, you did your thing, man, and thanks for coming out. My brother, who else performed? Skeet Carter out of Philly came and killed it. Shout out to Sean Larkins who did his thing, man. Joking Word, who we had him on the show. He came and showed love. Trey Elliott, one of our homies, man. He came and showed love, man. John Cia. So we had a lot of people who we had on the podcast come through, man.
It was a great time.
Yeah, it was a great time, man. And I just, it was cool, man. I had one issue, man. Go ahead.
Well, that's what I was about to bring up. Yeah, I see you had one issue. I seen you put on Facebook, and then I had something came up. Yeah, you was talking about, because I know exactly what it is. He has, you were talking about the people just sweating you for time.
Yeah, when people know that I throw professional shows, people know first thing I'm a professional when it comes to this. I really, when I throw a show, it ain't no nigga shit. You know what I mean? It's professional. It's booked.
Just niggas on the show, but ain't no niggas.
Yeah, it's booked. It ain't, it's not, you're booked. You book for your time. You get a time slot. It's not, it's not a free for all like a lot of these comedy shows is. So, Now I knew that, it was going to be comics who going to show up and ask for time. You know that when you
Yeah,
do,
yeah,
you
yeah.
expect that. I just didn't expect the intensity and what happened on Saturday night, and I really didn't want. Toby, what really got me, because I woke up Sunday and I was texting people, and people were there. They was like, "Hey, I had a great time." I was like, "You came to the show?" I said, "Why you didn't say nothing to me?" They said, "Oh, you look busy." And so it's people that was at the show I didn't get a chance to talk to, because all night I'm dealing with these comics who bugging me, begging me about getting up on stage. I spent 30% of my night dealing with these motherfuckers. And, when comics came in, I told them people came up to me. First thing, I'm going to tell you, 2 days before the show, I got calls from two comics, Jeff Arnold and Roger Rod. No, Roger Rod actually texted me, because I guess they followed the J Spot, so they knew I was. So Roger Raj texted me, "Hey man, I see you got a show at the J Spot. Got any time?" I said, "Man, Roger, I'm all filled. I got a bunch of comics down there." But he's like, and he texted me, "Oh, no problem, man. Just get me next time." Jeff Arnold called me like, "Hey man, you got anything, or maybe you want me to bring you up or something?" I said, "Jeff, same thing. I'm booked. Cool. I have no problem with that calling. Before.
Yeah. That's a whole nother thing. You ain't in the environment.
So the night, just a bunch of comics came down there, just and just and I understand what it is. First thing is two things. I think it's the J Spot. I don't think it would have happened at every other club.
No, it wouldn't have. That was one thing I was going to tell you.
The J Spot, breeds that type of. They wouldn't have did that at. Disrespect to the J Spot. I love it. Just shout out to J. Anthony Brown and everything. But they wouldn't have came down to Union bugging me like that. They wouldn't have did that.
No, they would have probably.
The Union?
Yeah, they would have.
I think I don't think as much, because they,
not as much, maybe.
Yeah.
The J Spot, and that breeds it, because people can walk up in the J Spot and they might just need them to go up. So people just, but what should have made people have a little more consideration? I mean, do they really think someone who says I'm celebrating 20 years in LA is gonna do a show that night that's just a free for all, like it's a regular old, I'm just throwing on some shit and whoever comes show up, I'll put you up type shit.
Mm-hmm.
So they should have known better. But I mean, that's the environment more than anything, and it's some of the people, because I mean, it ain't nothing wrong with us. I mean, but you ask one time and that's it.
Yeah. Listen. I put this on a Facebook post. When I listen, if I'm not booked at a show and I just happen to go, I whoever's running it, the manager or whoever running it, I'll go up to him. I'll be like, "Hey man, I'm here if you need me," and that's it. I'm not badgering. I've never begged a motherfucker for some stage time, and over my 20 years of doing comedy, I'm not begging no motherfucker for stage. I come in if I know the person who, "Hey man, I'm here if you need me." I'm just and that's it. But it just go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. You're absolutely right. It's just like, I mean, you ask once or whatever, and then that's it. But when they seen it was a 20-year celebration, they should have done like Jeff Arnold did or like Roger Rod did and hit you ahead of time. So they shouldn't even brought that motherfucking negative energy down to the environment.
Mm-hmm.
I had a funny story. I never forget one time I was hosting a night at the Improv, and Ian Edwards came in. And shout out to Ian. He got his hour special on Comedy Central right now. That shit was dynamic.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. I got it on DVR.
So Ian came in, and he said, "Hey, man, I know you hosting." He said, "You got any room on the show?" Like, and I said, "Well, if I can work you in, I can, Ian, because, obviously, I want to look out for Ian." So I'm checking, I'm hosting the show, I'm running it. And Ian comes back to me and he says, "Hey, look, man, I don't mean to bug you, but can you just let me know if you have room on the show? Let me know a few minutes ahead of time, because I don't want to pace for nothing." That shit, I'll never forget that. That shit always kill me, because people know a lot of comedians, we pace before the show to just work off the nerves. And Ian said, I don't give a damn if you can get me up or not, but I just don't want to pace for nothing.
That's funny.
But I can. And it's fucked up, because they wouldn't even let you have a one night.
And one cat I know. The first thing I know he got the same routine. I knew it was going to happen. I knew he was going to get there early. I knew once he see that crowd, I knew he was going to make his way over to me. You know what I mean? And ask for some time. And actually, I was able to actually get him up. But it was one cat I invited. I saw him at the barbershop. I said, hey, you know, I'm doing my joint. Come on down there. He asked me at the barbershop. He said, you gonna put me up? I said, I got no time for you, but come down and celebrate with your boy. He showed up and started bugging me about going up. At first I thought, because I don't really take him seriously, I thought, you know, I'm thinking he's just joking. You know, he like, yeah, I'm ready. Every time I will pay, I'm ready whenever you, I'm laughing at him. So, you know, he came to me like maybe towards the end of the show, and he was just like, so you're not gonna put me up? I'm looking like, what? Like, is this a Twilight Zone here?
But you know what, though? You know what, next time, what you can do. Like, say, for instance, if this shit, I mean, because hopefully it won't go to the extreme. But next time, especially because you was hosting the show, you could have went up and said, hey, look, to all the comics that are here, I appreciate y'all coming out. The lineup is booked. You should have said it from the mic.
Yeah.
And that might not have stopped them niggas.
Yeah.
But at least if you would have took that angle and said it one time in front of them, hopefully they would have left you alone. That's what I'd have did. I'd have told them from the mic. The show is booked. There's no more, I can't get anybody else
and this
up.
motherfucker came, so at the end of the day, he came, he was like, so you ain't gonna put me up? I said, I'm looking at like, nigga, are you playing with me? So he just kind of huffed and puffed, said, man, don't ever invite me. I ain't never coming to one of your events again. And stormed out. I'm like, what? I'm like, this nigga, I said, you know, Reggie Carroll. That crazy
come on,
motherfucker.
Reg did that?
Yeah, I'm like, what? And you know, of course, all night I got, man, let me just get 5 minutes. I hate that. You know, let me get 5 minutes. That's all I want.
I don't know if I've ever said that to anybody in my career. The only time I ever said, let me get 5 minutes is when I could only do 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, why would I mean, now that, you know, we veterans in the game and we got all, you know, we could be on stage an hour. Why would I ask somebody for 5 minutes? That don't even make sense.
Come on, man. Like, you know, and I'm like, you know, no comic goes up there and actually does 5 minutes.
Not too many, no.
Yeah,
it's you might get 1 out of 50 that abide
actually
by that
does
rule.
5 minutes, man.
Yeah, especially, I mean, when they ask for 5, they might as well say, hey, I'm gonna ask you for 5 minutes, but I'm about to go up and do 20, so can I do that?
Yeah, it's just so it just pissed me off because like I said, I didn't get video of your set. I wanted to get little clips of people's sets, but I'm running around, and then there's a bunch of people who said they came. I ain't even say nothing to them. I didn't even see them there because I'm dealing with these motherfuckers, and so I got something for them next time, man. I got something for them next time.
That's crazy.
You come with that bullshit again next time. I got something for them.
And it's crazy. Like, if somebody wouldn't have showed up and you needed somebody, then there wouldn't have been nobody there.
Yeah, I know.
If you'd have needed a comic, it wouldn't have been nobody
And
there.
a couple times I did, like, that's why I kind of put, you know, that one cat, I was able to work him in because, you know, I needed somebody, because a couple people didn't, like Malik S., I had him booked, he didn't show up. Melanie Camacho said she was coming by, she didn't come. That's the thing, I wanted to get a female on the show, so all in all, man, it was a great night. Shout out to everybody who came down there, but it got to be some kind of protocol amongst comics, man. You just, you know, and I understand, man, we see a hot crowd. I understand that stage is crack to us. I understand. It's crack, and we just, you know, I don't know, man. I just don't, like, if I'm feeling like that where I want to get on stage, I just stand, if I know I'm not booked, I don't come out. I'm not even going to put myself through that.
I mean,
I'm not going to go down to a club.
I can see if this was a weekly show you do or a monthly show you do or some shit like that, you know. But other than that, I mean, when they see it's a celebration like that, that's almost like niggas just coming down ruining your birthday.
Yeah.
Because that was basically your birthday. That was 20 years. I mean, that's the same similar type shit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Got to be some, you know, comics. If you're listening, man, you know, when you go into a room that you're not booked, just, you know, and the thing, that's another thing. I put this on the post. None of the motherfuckers came up to me and said, hey, man, well, how do I go about getting booked on the next show? None of them cared. Like, if I said I had it booked, then I would be like, well, you know, I'm thinking.
Those are the type of niggas that don't want to know how to go about it because they're going to do the same shit they do anyway.
And I think it's the J spot. The J spot, usually you just come down, maybe you can talk your way up on stage and stuff like that. It's So yeah, so shout out to everybody came down, man, and
Yeah.
you know, we'll see you my birthday weekend. I'm doing something, man. We'll see you again. Birthday weekend. I might do a birthday roast or something like that.
When is that? Tell the people when it is.
That's I'm trying to. Well, my birthday is Labor Day weekend, but I may do it the weekend after that,
Yeah,
which
it
will
won't
be
do
the
no
second
good.
week.
Labor Day weekend, people
Yeah.
be doing shit.
Maybe the second week in September. So, you know, as we get, you know, I'll be shouting that out to everybody, man, and shout that out, Tobe Hixx. So yeah, so I wanted to we're
Trump
gonna
is
talk.
acting a fool.
Yeah, Trump.
Man.
Yeah, Trump. Trump. Yeah. Well, I'm not really. You know, we know who he is. I mean, you know, we know who he is. What's that saying? When a motherfucker show you who they are, why are you surprised? Something like that. I know.
But I gotta, yeah, that wasn't nowhere near the same.
What's the saying?
But I gotta admit, like, each time he say something, I keep thinking it can't get no worse, and it just keeps getting worse.
Right.
I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I really can't believe this dude.
Yeah. But he, you know, he's doing it because
He's honest.
Yeah, he's doing it because he know his base love it, and it's. See, I always think, you know, we on Trump, but how about that 40% that have no issue with his shit? They more dangerous than, you know what I mean? He know he's got it's 40% that I agree with all that shit he's saying.
Yeah.
A lot of this the immigration issue, which, you know, some of that stuff, I just don't believe motherfuckers just show up at the border just be able to come in. I do believe it has to be some kind of protocol. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I believe that, like, you know, and I listen, where people where they at, they definitely over. That place was only set up for maybe 100 people. Well, now they got 1,000, so of course it's going to be.
They knew that though. They let it get like that.
Well, you know.
Okay, if it's a protocol, then it should be. I agree with that. It has to be some type of protocol, and it should be for they know what the fuck is going on in these spots, and the poverty and the killings and the drug use and the violence and the murder.
I mean, you know, I understand that.
I mean,
that's all over the world.
They should have.
You know?
What I'm saying is, they should have made these detention centers bigger and better from the get go. They knew more. They knew more than 100 motherfuckers was gonna try to get in.
Now let me ask you, these detention centers. So what happens? You're there now. What's next? When they got them there, is it? I don't.
What they
try
to do is that they try to house them, and then they get them set up with like a hearing, and then the hearing, you know, the hearing's normally a long time away. I mean, these people are basically stuck, man.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation. We should try to, everybody need to be treated with respect. Children should not be taken away from parents. They should be but I do like the guards who do their job. They're overwhelmed. The one guard said, "We didn't train. You know, we're not trained for this.
No.
So we're not trained for this. So it's just fucked up all the way around. But our immigration." Listen, I got some opinions about immigration, but it should have been done years ago. It should have been done. It's too late now. And I always thought, our forefathers, they did some great things, setting up the country. But they made some mistakes. The Second Amendment with guns.
Nigga, they had us as slaves.
Yeah, they had us as slaves.
What do you mean they made some mistakes? Hell yeah, they did.
The Second Amendment was a mistake, but they couldn't foresee it. And another mistake they made, I think, is anybody born in America is automatically a citizen. I think that was a mistake. To me, because what happens is people have taken advantage of that. They came over here and then had a baby here. Oh, my baby's if you're not a citizen, even if you have a child here, your child is not a citizen. Now, it could be a process where both of y'all eventually get to it, but your child is not should not be an automatic citizen if you're not a citizen. That's one thing. The Constitution, I didn't like that. They should never have did that. Just come over here. If you're born here, you're automatically a citizen. Because people as you can see, they have taken advantage of that. It's just a lot, man. It should have been. I can go into talk about immigration. It should have been levels to it. I don't believe that somebody can come over here and become a citizen, like, and get everything that our forefathers. It should be like I really believe it
What
should
shouldn't
be.
they get then?
Well, no, I'm just saying it should be all right. Class A citizens. Class A citizens are ancestors, Native American, Native ancestors, descendants of Native American slaves, third generation. To me, third generation. So let's say you came over here, you German, you came over here in 1930. Then your grandchild will be. You still a citizen, but you're not a class A citizen. Your grandchild will be a class A citizen because that's third generation. To me, it's got to be like you got to put some generations in here before you get everything. And I don't know exactly.
Yeah,
it could be tax breaks. It could be, you a class. It should be something. It should be like
levels to this.
Levels to it. Like, you know what I mean? Like you shouldn't just come over here and you just get all the benefits. I'm not saying you get nothing, but. It should be like, hey, motherfucker, you ain't getting the same tax breaks I'm getting. You ain't getting the same college breaks that I'm getting. Like my ancestors,
and we would have to base all this shit on white people because niggas ain't getting the shit. We've been here, we descended to slavery and all that shit, and we still class 3. In your structure.
Yeah, so it's just. Because people have taken advantage of it, man. People, getting married and to get a. Okay, that's fine. You get married, but you're not a Class A citizen. You got to work up. You got to work. You got to work up to that. You're third generation to be able to get that. And
so that's just like saying the original motherfuckers who came over from America, like the original family member, the grandma and grandpa. Let's say that means they gonna die before they ever a Class A citizen.
Hey, you know what I mean? But they grandchildren, everything your grandchildren getting, that's something you work for. That's the American dream.
And they got out of wherever they was
at. But
don't
get me wrong, it's not like they still enjoying the freedoms of America. It's just that, maybe, like I said, it should have been done decades ago. And I just believe if you're not a citizen, if you come over here, you have a child, your child is not a citizen. And y'all can work towards that. I mean, it can, your child can eventually be, but your child's just not automatically a citizen because you're not a citizen.
Trump got a lot in there with it. I mean,
he got
his mother was an immigrant. Like
exactly. His wife is.
Yeah.
But you know what it is.
That bitch can barely speak English now, and she live in the White House.
It's dark immigrants. That's what they had. They ain't got no problem, with coming from Sweden and
Ireland
and shit. Like he said it. Why we got to let people in from shithole countries?
The Netherlands.
It's just unfortunate. And them people are overwhelmed. The staff is overwhelmed. It's just, but I don't understand. My thing is the Democrats, they should be treated better. But at the end of the day, what do y'all want? They can't just all come in. You can't just show up at the border and be like, hey, come on in. It's got to be some kind of process to it, man. So. We got to, somehow the communication got to get to these people that, hey, man, y'all coming up here. It ain't sweet like that. You know what I mean?
Well, then, why don't they work like let's just use Mexico as well, it's hard to say it like that because some of the people come from other places. But if we use Mexico, for instance, so then you're at the border or whatever, you bring in the amount of people, you let the people come and stay at the detention center that you could actually house, and then what if you just they just send the other people back right then at the border.
Now
why don't they work a deal with Mexico where the Americans can drive people back further?
Yeah.
But
not all of them coming from Mexico,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some coming from Guatemala,
El
Salvador,
Nicaragua, I think.
But you know what gets me is that as long as they got enough immigrants to come over here and work and do these fucked up jobs, they don't mind. You know what I'm saying? Like the farming jobs and shit like that. Yeah. Man, there is no white people farming anymore. I mean, they own the farms and but they got all immigrants out there working. I seen this shit on TV recently, there's no white people. They can't hire. White people won't do the work. And we won't do it no more because we did it for 400 years. So that was enough.
And it's just, it's the rise of this white nationalism, and it all goes. Trump is into this, into this base. He told the ladies to go back to the country. 3 of them was born in America.
Yeah, like where they supposed to go back?
But
to
he
New
knew
York.
that.
Yeah.
But it's just they're is what they are. They are, one is Muslim. Well, 2 I think is Muslim. One is black. One is Latino. Latina. It's just it's the rise of white supremacy. It's, to me, Trump has tapped into this base that you have white Americans feel that the country is being taken away from them, and this is permeating. And part of it is the immigrants coming over here. They don't want them over here because they think first they come over here they're gonna vote Democrat. You know what I mean? So they don't want that. That's why they're trying to,
Why didn't Trump think like that when he had them all working for him?
Exactly. Oh, it's fine. Listen, it's
fine to do his shit jobs.
It's fine when he had a couple. They wasn't even documented working at his mansion. Oh, they fine
a
with
whole
that.
Bunch of them. He employed a lot of immigrants.
This is
undocumented immigrants. He employed a lot.
It's sad, man. It's just, and somebody said, I was reading an article. They was like, the country is we're not moving towards civil war, but we're definitely moving towards, and we may be already in a political war. It's just, it's I always mess this word up. Ideology. Ideology. It's war going on. Ideology, war going on.
You fucked that one up, and you wasn't even trying to read it. You fucked that one up in your memory.
It's going on, man. It's we I don't know where it's going, man. It's just like we're so divided as a country. Everybody is in their own what they believe in, and Trump is steering all this up, man. He's there. He's the reality show president. He's doing what he wants to do, and this is what he loves. This is what he loves to do. Just stir up problems, just stir up shit. And he may even have a chance to win in 2020, man. He got a good chance to win in 2020 because I don't know these motherfuckers, man. Did you see these women that they had some about? These women had it was in Pennsylvania, had something for Trump, like Women for Trump had a kickoff rally. Women for Trump.
After he said he'd like to just grab him by the pussy.
And this is all white women. This is crazy, man. All white women went and had now I guess these white women love to have their pussy grabbed, and I guess they love to be told what to do with their body.
And he got more. He's got more women publicly saying he didn't, assaulted them or raped them or touched them or did something improper sexually. He literally has more women going against him than R. Kelly has right now. Like, for real, real talk.
Mm-hmm. They had a Women for Trump event in Pennsylvania. Of course, they would have it in Pennsylvania. They would do that.
Why they do that in your state?
I know.
Shit, I know. Whew, man.
With the president's daughter-in-law leading the push. Who's the president's daughter-in-law?
Trump talking about he don't have a racist bone in his body. He keeps swearing that shit.
That's what they, That's what they. But it's definitely a sad day. Shout out to the sisters, man. They had that press conference, and listen, when they hating you like that, you're doing something well. But Trump knows this works for his base, man. He knows this works for his base. He knows that, man. The women, AOC, the sister, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, they hate her. Ayanna Pressley, a sister, Ilhan Omar, and Rashida Tlaib. These are these are the 4 women who drive the right fucking crazy, man. They drive them crazy. There's another Republican who got caught with some prostitutes. And these Republicans they hilarious. They always say they the party of God and family, but they the ones that always get caught with the prostitutes.
And it's time for everybody to speak up. I mean, I seen this quote last night from Martin Luther King that they put on TV, and I was like, damn. One of King's quotes when he was alive was, "In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends." It's time for everybody to speak up on this shit, or he is going to get elected again. It ain't no ifs, ands, buts. I think he might. No, he is going to get elected again. This fucking Klansman.
So they're supposed to start the raids.
They did over the weekend.
They did. So
they started, yeah.
So these are picking up, from what I understand, the raids are picking up non-documented immigrants? Or?
Yeah, man. I mean, Saturday night before I came to the J Spot to do your 20th celebration in L.A., shit, I was at Sage and Whittier. I didn't know how many Mexicans were gonna show up, but they wasn't scared. I mean, it wasn't packed like it normally was, but they was because they was a little scared to come out. I don't know if you noticed, but over the weekend, man, the Mexicans wasn't out. They wasn't out with the fruit and the taco stands and shit on every corner like they was. They was at the house hiding.
They said,
but you got to realize too, undocumented immigrants, you got rights too. Motherfucker can't just, if motherfuckers show up at your house, don't let them motherfuckers in. How about that? Do like black people used to do with the Jehovah's Witnesses. We act like we didn't even see their motherfucking ass out there every Saturday.
Ah, the Jehovah's Witness. My grandmother used to let them in the house. She talked to them. She sit them down.
Man, my grandmother. Ooh, man, if somebody would have let them in the house, my grandmother would have had a motherfucking heart attack. She ain't got time for that shit.
So the ICE.
She wouldn't have let Jehovah's Witnesses in the house if it had been the Jackson family, nigga.
So Paul, what's the word on the street where you at about the ICE raids? Any is it like people don't give a shit or
Paul he don't give a shit. He look half white, so he like fuck it. That don't involve me.
Well, let me grab a microphone.
Yeah, grab a mic. Paul is our producer. He gonna tell us. Yes, some street vendors reported dismal sales. Sylvia, a street vendor who gave only her first name because she's in the country illegally, said her sales were down by at least half.
Yeah, man, they wasn't out, man. Like I noticed that shit. You know, I stay in a very heavily Mexican populated area, and they wasn't out over the weekend. I was like, damn.
So what they do if they catch you? I mean, so they catch you? They just go.
But see, the thing is, they weren't. They made it sound like they was gonna raid spots, but they weren't raiding. They had a list. It's kind of like a warrant check. They had a list of people that they was looking for, but they put out this big ass picture saying we raiding. That way, everybody's scared. They knew they knew who they was looking for and what they was trying to do, but they tried to just scare everybody else.
This guy Edgar Bavera noticed that Koreatown was quieter than usual Sunday. Fewer people attended the morning church service. He didn't spot many families walking the streets, and the nearby Guatemala and Salvadorian bakeries were virtually empty. It's been totally silent around here since yesterday. People are terrified to go out on the streets. Bavera, 59, who manages a business that sends packages to Guatemala at a cheap price, said what kind of packages are going to Guatemala?
Yeah, what they sending over
at a cheap price. Said he noticed fewer people coming into the store for Sunday service. Barrera is in the country illegally, but says he isn't going to let fear change his way of life. He works 7 days a week and has no plans to slow down. I can't give myself the luxury of not going to work. I have to pay rent. I have to pay for food. My mother is sick and needs medicine. I'm the only person who can pay her medical bills. Wow.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Paul. What you?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys know it, so my family's from Guadalajara, right? They're from. I'm first generation American on my mom's side, and if you ever spend time in Mexico, like just the corruption and the way. One time we were driving, we get pulled over. We're in a taxi, right? Get pulled over by the cops. The cops look in the window. They say, "Hey, you guys don't have your seatbelts on." We're wearing our seatbelts. We got them on, but they just say, "Hey, you don't got your seatbelts on. That's a $50 fine," or however much it was, right? You have to pay them cash.
You got to pay 'em.
Right there, right? So, and if you look around at the living conditions, even some of the poorest living conditions in the U.S. are so much better.
Oh yeah,
than in Mexico. You know,
it doesn't even
so it's
equate.
worth the risk. It's worth the risk to get over here, man. But what's unfortunate is.
I want to ask you.
Yeah, go
what
for
if
it.
you don't pay? Let's go back to that story. You had to pay him. Has anybody said, "Fuck you, I ain't paying you"? What
Yeah,
would
you're
happen
going
if
to
they said
jail,
that?
nigga. I can tell you
Yeah.
about
They
that.
just take you to jail.
They do that everywhere in Mexico. They do that in Tijuana.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
And so you go to jail. How you just in there for how long?
Yeah, you don't want to be in a Mexican jail.
Oh,
No.
shit.
Not
Let me
at
go ahead
all.
and tell
So
you.
you rather just pay them the?
Yeah, you just give him. Hey, even though you're wearing the seatbelt, here's the money, man.
Oh.
Here's the
Yeah,
money.
you ain't fucking around.
Yeah. You
Shit.
don't want to be over there. But I mean, you got to give it up for these people who are trying to make a better life for their family. You know, my family immigrated here to California. They did it through the proper channels because back in the day it was so much easier
Right.
to do it. But if you look at
What were the proper channels at that time? What did they do?
the biggest thing was if you already had family living over here. So my great grandparents had gotten their papers and moved here earlier. It was an expedited process to bring your family over. So the process wouldn't take that long. I heard a story on Facebook about how a family got a letter in the mail saying that the younger brother or whatever, the uncle said, okay, finally it's time for him to start the process to get his paperwork. The uncle had died the year before and was in the country for 10 years already.
Oh my.
So
yeah, I think I've seen some like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the process, the problem is the process that we have takes so long that people just, if I told you, hey, you're going to have a better life in 5 years, you're like, well, why can't I get that better life? Now, I might not even be alive in 5 years, so I got to deal with all the violence and everything that's in Mexico right now, especially with the drug lords, you know.
Yeah.
You want to take that risk and you want to come over here. So you'd rather do that, you know, and especially where we're at right now in Koreatown, in particular where the studio is.
Yeah.
You know, there's a huge Mexican population out here. And I could guarantee that most of the people here are here illegally. But I mean, it's to the point
You
where
could always tell by their height, like the homie Felipe said. He always had a joke. No matter how many times I hear it, that shit always kill me. He put his hand up in there for if it's a tall Mexican, legal. If it's a short Mexican, illegal.
Yeah.
And that shit always kill me. Yeah, it's a lot of them over here, man. And I don't blame them. Shit.
What so what happened to you if they catch you? Like if you're here illegal, what's the process?
Well, what it looks like, and I'm not an expert on this, but what it looks like they're doing is they're sending them to those detainment centers, you know, to await a hearing for deportation. However, the hearings, it's the bureaucracy, right? The hearings are taking so long that they have to keep them in these detainment centers, which are, you know, retrofitted, what would you call them? The camps from, you know, like back where they, you guys ever read that book, Farewell to Manzanar, when they put the Japanese in those like internment camps just to keep them separated from that? They're retrofitting those in order to house everybody that they're catching, but it's the hearings that are taking so long. So it's not simply just, you know, we're catching them and deporting them. The whole process is taking forever.
See, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. They could have prepared better than this. It ain't like they didn't know.
I know they said they need more judges. I guess that helps to expedite it. I know they said they need more judges down there.
Well, that's a simple thing you could do. For that certain situation, all they got to do is hire the retired judges just to deal with that. Judges that are already retired. You don't have to take the ones out of court that you need there dealing with shit right now. Go back to all the retired judges that are still capable of working and just let them do and ask them to handle those situations.
Now, okay, so you get in front of the judge. You were here illegally. They catch you. They take you to. You get in front of the judge. Would you plead your case? I maybe had to do more research.
I mean, you can plead your case, but I mean, it's pretty much useless if you're here.
Your
illegally,
case is
man.
I was starving over there and they might kill me and it's drugs and violence.
I got a life out here. My family's out here. They don't care if your family's out here. And if you got kids that are born in the U.S., they're citizens.
Yeah.
So literally, all of a sudden, you can't have contact with your family.
Yeah, I've seen that has happened. I think I've seen some where they deported some people back to Mexico.
It's happening right now, and it happened 400 years ago.
Now you know a crazy. What a lot of people don't. Barack Obama deported. This don't get talked about, but Barack deported 3 million people. Like Barack was. It just wasn't big talked about like that. But
and
he
also
deported a lot
because
of
he handled
his
it in a
administration.
different manner, he didn't just let them all get here and crowd all up and then let them be dying and let them be drinking toilet water and let the kids have meningitis and all that shit. He got them up out here before that situation got like that.
And it wasn't a flex. That's the
Yeah.
big thing too. Like when Barack did it, he did it on the DL,
no,
and,
yeah.
and he did it as a, hey, people need to go through the proper channels, blah blah blah. Whereas Trump is
Trying to scare everybody.
and saying how they're subhuman,
Yeah.
and talking about these people in as if they're animals,
They're
comparing it to
rapists.
animals.
They're sending
They're
the-
sending
yeah,
the
they're sending
worst.
the worst.
The rapists and like, come on, man. That's why Barack did. I mean, that's why nobody tripped off of the way he did it because he didn't, dehumanize them like that.
Yeah. And this fool said that. I mean, he said Obama was an American.
Yeah.
He said
Yeah.
Obama was Kenyan.
That's his.
So that's where he stands on where people.
And
are.
now he just said that about one of the new candidates, talking about they ain't from America. So that's just his shit he's doing.
He told all the Congress to go back, right? All the Congress, all the new members, the new female members of Congress. He said, "Well, go back then."
Go back to where you
So
came
they saying,
from.
I think that it's funny. They said the estimate of illegal illegals. I don't know if it's proper. I don't even like to call them
Illegal
illegals.
immigrant.
Legal immigrants. Okay, that's the proper term. They say the estimate is about 11 million in this country. I think George Lopez had a joke about that. It's like I don't know how they can count that because half of we don't even answer the door. Like I don't know how they came up with 11 million.
He said, "For being so undocumented, we're pretty documented, aren't we?"
yeah.
No, and Felipe had a joke saying, the fact that they can count them. He was like, well, why don't you send them back while you counting them?
That's funny.
He said, who the fuck y'all counting them for? Send them back then.
Now, I know some they've talked about as a path to citizenship, like a path to citizenship, but the Republicans has always been against that. The Republicans, they know you got to go back, and that's your path to go back and then start the process over. But like Paul was saying, there's people here with families, so I know some people on the liberals believe that if they've been here, they've been working, they've been a cool citizen, then we should be able to do like a path to citizenship for them.
Yeah.
Well, it's a point system. That's what they got now. So when you do your application, it's a point system. They ask you, they give you a survey, and you have to answer all these questions on the survey, and they determine how worthy you are to become a citizen.
Right.
So if you are somebody who makes a certain level of income, who has a certain level of education and all this stuff, then you have high enough points, then they kind of put you in that little express lane to get citizenship. One of the things is, do you already have work lined up when you get to the United States? How much does that work pay? Blah, blah, blah. Because what's more concerning is, how much money are you going to pay in taxes?
Yeah, and that's the thing about it.
yeah.
These people are paying taxes that are working.
But because I had my home. I used to date this girl. She was from Belize, and she became a citizen. But she said, that was key. Like, because she went to Cal Berkeley. They was key. Like they want to know if you over here. They don't want you to come over here and get on welfare. They don't want you to be using. So they want them to know that you got a good job and you're gonna be paying taxes. That's what they.
Well, they are because shit. You seen? That they come to work hard. It ain't like they coming to sit down. Yeah. They the one doing these shit jobs that the white folks don't want to do.
George Lopez said, how are we lazy and taking your jobs?
Yeah.
He's like, how are we both? You can't be both.
Paul, has anybody close to you ever been deported?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I had an aunt that was deported.
How long
and she
ago
came back over.
So they catch you 2 times. What they do? They just keep sending you back?
Yeah,
yeah, it's
that's
just
all
another
they
game.
can do is keep sending you back. What they gonna do? Kill you?
Yeah.
They lock you up for some time, or they just catch you and just send you back?
They just catch you and send you back. But then once you're in Mexico, then you're like, okay, I guess I just gotta do it again. But it's very dangerous in Mexico, especially. My aunt used the coyote, which was like, you had to spend a lot of money to get you.
Yeah.
You had to get you up over there. So, I mean, it's.
Is she still here now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So she still.
They sent her home, and so they come right back.
She's a millionaire.
Man.
Yeah.
They come right back. It's
what business did she get into?
All I can say is restaurant business.
Okay.
It's and she tried to do it the right way. It was just too. I'm sure she's tried the.
I mean, I
just
don't know
too
so much
long
it was
and-
try, but just kind of bypassed it.
Yeah.
And then once they were sent over, it's like if you have the means, if you have the money,
Mm-hmm.
especially because the horrible part of this is the separation of families.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
So if you are just removing one member of the family, I mean, I can't tell you the amount of GoFundMe's that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
That's like so-and-so, they just deported their dad. So you're taking the primary income maker for the family and sending them to another country.
Right, right.
You know, so that's what I mean, everything's horrible about it, but you have to, the solution, you really have to reestablish how to become a citizen. If they just press the reset button and they said, hey, we're going to strengthen the border, we're going to build a wall, but everybody that's here is here. I mean,
But if Republicans ain't gonna, they, you know, they.
Man, the wall is not gonna stop it,
the
man.
wall ain't going to start shit.
That ain't gonna stop
Yeah,
shit.
the wall ain't gonna, yeah.
All that would be is a big waste of money. The motherfucking wall.
And that's
ain't
why I
gonna
want to see
stop
it built.
shit.
I want to see it built because it's funny. They talk about the Great Wall of China, right? The Great Wall of China was meant to keep the Mongols out, and the Mongols got over the wall, and that's back in, you know, medieval times, you know. So
Yeah, so you know what they'll do now.
we got tunnels. We got tunnels. We got airplanes. There's this little thing called airplanes. There's the internet. There's so many things that you can use to bypass this. I mean, what's going to stop people from then just making a stop in Cuba? Make a stop in Cuba, take a boat to Florida. There's so many ways
Or
around
just swim like the rest of the motherfuckers did. Yeah.
And just make it safe for these people who are just looking for a better life. I mean, did you guys see the image that was so heartbreaking?
Oh,
was
the
in
dad
Texas
and the child,
with
the
the dad and the
baby
daughter.
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
And the fact that the dad is willing to make that type of sacrifice in order just for a chance at a better life.
Yeah, that they would give up their life trying to get here. That's how serious it is.
I mean, it's definitely serious, but I mean, you know, play devil's advocate. Listen, I understand it's serious, but you still, I mean, we just can't have, you know, millions of motherfuckers just show up at the border and say, "Hey, man, let us in." You know, it's got to be a process.
It does need to be a process, but the process needs to be better.
Yeah.
That's what it comes
And
down
quicker, yeah. Wow.
to. Quicker, better, and just use common sense for it, you know? If you got this dude that, like, who's a bigger threat to the country? You know, if you have this dude that's just doing nothing but providing for his family, you know, he's working a low-income job. Most of these jobs now, they'll pay them under the table, which means they're not getting paid minimum wage, which means they're doing this for, you know, pennies on the dollar.
No overtime, all this shit. They had a show on CNN just over the weekend speaking about they were interviewing undocumented immigrants who were here working and this and that. They're paying taxes. You know, all that shit Trump's saying is not the truth. These are the people, they're not out here committing crimes and doing wrong. They working trying to survive.
And who's benefiting? White business owners.
Yeah, man.
That's who's benefiting from that work. If they deported...
Yeah, they interviewed some of the white business owners, and they said if they didn't have these immigrants working, they would have nobody working. One owner of a farm, he was just telling how, you know, white people came and they interviewed, and he said sometimes they quit the first day because the work is hard. And then these immigrants come and they don't think shit of it, and they work, whatever. But, you know, he said he would have lost everything if it wasn't for the immigrants working.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're talking about even just the agricultural industry collapsing.
Yeah, that's what it would be. Yeah.
It is, and this is strong, but it's pretty much legalized slavery.
Yeah.
You know, because you get to pay these people so little for the work that they're returning, and you're making so much money off of these people, but they're in a position where they can't find legitimate work because they don't have the documentation to provide that. So it becomes a humanitarian issue, you know? So it's funny that everybody's like, you know, get them out of here. What they're not looking at is that's the biggest benefit is having them here as illegal.
Man, and they showed one farm where it was like a dairy farm, and it was literally, I think it was like 400 cows, and it was like 2 Mexican guys who was in charge of milking all those 400 cows. And that's a 7-day-a-week job. They never get a day off, bro. And these 2 dudes is milking all these motherfucking cows. That shit was unbelievable. I can't even imagine how their days are.
Yeah. But want to know that this is the biggest. I was actually talking to Rodrigo about this. The biggest thing that's crazy now is this new wave of, and it's always been there. You know, my mom was college educated. But now there's a mass of college-educated young Latinos in the country that are citizens, that are like, this is wrong, that are getting these, you know, Congress spots, that are getting these local government spots.
Yeah.
That's where the change is coming from. So the resistance is almost like, hey, we're going to get rid of your family, but you're not going to get rid of the young ones that are actually educated, that are able to speak on these issues, you know. So I mean, it's almost like the right just gripping at the last ethnic power struggle that they have, because people don't realize that it's not about race; it's about low income versus high income.
It's about economics. So, well, that's definitely it's about economics, but the Republican Party they've done a good job of doing mind control on working class whites that let them believe it's about race when it's actually about economics. So the Republicans do this every 4 years to poor working class white folks. They tell them every 4 years, listen, vote for us. What we're going to do is we're going to cut taxes from the top. We're going to cut taxes for the big corporations, rich, and it's going to trickle down to y'all. It's going to come down to y'all. Trickle down economics. That's what they. And every 4 years they tell working class whites, but they also give a caveat like, hey, and don't worry about the Latinos, the blacks. We're going to take care of them. You may not be doing well. That's because they taking your jobs and they taking your college scholarships.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they tell them that every 4. And working class whites, poor whites, mainly, that's why they predominantly vote Republican every 4 years and didn't get nothing out of it.
And I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Watch this. Who has more in common, right? Do you think a poor white family and a poor black family? Or do you think a poor black family and a rich black family? Who do you think has more in common?
A poor white family and a poor black family.
And that's the mind control.
That's the mind. That's the mind. Yeah, and they've done that. But that's perfect what you just said. The Republicans have done it every 4 years. They going to try to do it in 2020. It's just that mind control that, hey, let us cut the taxes for the rich, the corporations. Let us cut their taxes. And, even when it comes up, they only want to pay cats $15 an hour. Who fought that? The right, the Republicans. They fight $15 an hour. They, Walmart, we can't, it's hard for us to survive if we go. But the motherfuckers who own Walmart, man, that family?
Yeah, that don't even make
sense.
The
CEO of Walmart. Like, y'all don't, but, man, we can't. Motherfucker, y'all make billions.
Yeah, them motherfuckers at Walmart, I mean, not
they can't even pay.
And they trying to cut the greeters out.
Well, and at Walmart, some of them workers are on welfare. Like, they get paid so little that they able to qualify for food stamps. Like, and, I shout out to the granddaughter of Walt Disney. Did you hear what she said? The granddaughter of Walt Disney's brother, of Roy Disney. So she said, hold on, let me bring up her quote.
The granddaughter of Walt Disney's brother.
Yeah, so she's part of.
I think it's too high to be trying to figure that relationship out. Okay, all right, I got the granddaughter of Walt Disney.
Yeah, but she's part of Abigail Disney is taking her family company to task over intolerable working conditions at Disneyland. So she basically saying, listen, I guess the CEO of Disney, the CEO, that motherfucker made $45 million. But they don't want to pay. So she's saying, how are we paying him all that money, but we don't even want to pay, we can't even pay the workers minimum wage. So she's like, what, so that's what and she's a young girl. She, she's like, and I don't know what kind of power she has. She may own some stock in it, but she's basically saying like this makes no sense. Okay, Bob Iger is the Disney chief executive, took home $65 million last year.
That's 20 more than you thought.
Let me be clear, Abigail Disney. Let me be clear. I like Bob Iger. I do not speak for my family, but only for myself. Other than owning shares, not that many. I figured she owned some shares. Other than owning shares, not that many. I have no more say in what happens there than anyone else. But by any objective measure, a pay ratio over 1,000 is insane. So she basically saying like, come on, that don't even make sense. So yeah, it's this corporate greed and motherfuckers, y'all making that much money and can't even pay
man,
people
and just think about it, man. Just think about what she's saying about Disneyland. Them niggas was fighting at Disneyland and no security didn't come for about 20 minutes. So she's absolutely right.
I forgot all about that. That was
niggas was fighting at Disneyland. I was like, where's the security at?
Shit.
Okay, that's why they making too much motherfucking money. Hire some more security.
That is some ghetto
the
shit.
CEO making all that money, but motherfucking niggas can fight at Disneyland for 30 minutes with kids all around.
That's because all the security
and nobody
guards were
was
70.
there.
Oh my.
Yeah.
What'd you
'cause
say?
they
All
didn't
the
have-
what?
So all the security guards were 70.
That was
Yeah.
that
They
was
didn't have
just
the proper people hired.
Dude beating up girls. It was some family shit.
Yeah.
Somebody
Everybody
hit his
seen
mom.
the video.
That was some. Go to Disney. Back to Disney. A worker said, "I've been working for Disneyland for almost 28 years, and I make less than $20 an hour." Yeah, so it's just
For 28 years?
28 years. She make less than But
Oh,
Bob
my
Iger
God.
made $65 million last year.
Damn, man. How can somebody be somewhere for 28 years and they're not even making
I don't
$1 a
understand.
year?
I don't even understand.
They don't even get $1 for each year?
Yeah.
I don't even understand how companies pay CEOs that much money. Like, what CEO? I mean, this whole shit they got.
You know
cooked
why
up,
they
like,
pay them that much money?
How would you know?
They
how-
pay them that much money because those motherfuckers sit there and figure out how not to pay everybody else. So they getting
Yeah.
everybody else's money. That's why they get paid that much.
$65 million.
I mean, if you look at it
a
like
year.
that, then why does Roger Goodell get $40 million for being the commissioner of football? He ain't getting hit.
Yeah.
But the niggas out there getting hit and getting brain damage.
Yeah, and Roger Goodell get what, $40 million?
$40 million a year.
That's too much to pay. That's too much.
But then when one of the running backs asks for more money, he
Yeah.
ain't shit.
Disney has a net worth of $130 billion. So yeah, it's just, ladies and gentlemen, when we, like Paul said, when we realize
they got motherfuckers there who worked for 28 years of loyal service and not even making $20 an hour.
when we realize it's not about race, it's about economics, we'll come together. Man.
I must admit, if you sat there for 28 years at such a low pay, I mean, I don't really know what to say either.
Yeah, well,
But,
I mean,
you know, I know how it is.
she wanted to work with the mouse, man.
Yeah, shit. You get there and you get stuck, and they just like shit.
Disney owns Star Wars too. That's probably why didn't they buy Star Wars? They own $130 billion. Disney, like what else do they do? I mean, I know they got the theme parks.
God damn, it costs $500 for a family of 4 to get in. That's what they do.
That's why them niggas was fighting, because they was fighting over that, getting in that club, man. I've never been to Disneyland, but I will probably be taking my daughter soon,
Oh shit!
No, I mean when she got to be older. She got to know we did this. Did you
Yeah.
take your girls? You ever?
Yeah.
They was right at that age where they.
Yeah, and I remember, I never forget.
How much it hit you?
Oh man, that shit's like, it's like 500 just to get in.
Hold on,
Goddamn,
500 just to get in?
By
For
the
the
time,
family, yeah.
Yeah, by the time you pay for four tickets, they about 125 a piece.
But that gets you on all the rides too, right? You ain't got to pay separate for the
yeah,
rides.
but then that's just getting through the door. That don't include food, all the other shit.
Food, we can sneak some food in.
No, ain't no sneaking
Oh,
shit
yeah,
in.
you-
You sneak in there and eat you a $20 hamburger. That's what the fuck you do.
But you get on all the rides. You ain't got to
Yeah.
pay for them. Okay.
I remember I was fortunate enough when I was like 6 years old, man. Me and my grandparents, my uncles back then in Nebraska were playing like Pop Warner football.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like 13, 14. And they had a game out here in L.A. Like they made it out here to like the championship of Pop Warner back then. So we came out here when I was like 6 years old, and my grandparents took me to Disneyland and shit, and I got to experience that. That shit was cool. That was when I still rode the rides. I don't fuck with no rides no more. That's why I ain't going back to Disneyland, because I ain't getting no shit.
All right, so man, well, listen, man, there's a whole bunch to talk about, man, but this immigration issue, man, we're gonna stay on it. It's just real complicated.
This really disappoints me, because I mean, well, especially for people like us, it's like I've been fortunate enough that shit, a lot of my career has been performing in front of Latinos and stuff like that. So that so I mean to know that they going through all this shit. I mean, they've been some of the biggest supporters, in my career. I mean, shit, it's damn near more Mexicans know who I am than black people.
True that.
So
It's a struggle, man. We can't even get booked at Taco Tuesday at the Ice House.
Oh shit.
Damn. Yeah, because they don't think y'all gonna show up. Y'all might have to stay at the house. It might be a raid. Motherfucking Mexican comics was canceling gigs without even calling this weekend.
Shit.
Hey, but it was crazy, man. I mean, I really tripped off of how many people weren't on the streets this weekend. Motherfuckers did not come out. And that's what Trump knew. It was all a fear thing. They knew who they was looking for. They made it seem like they were just going to be riding down the street and just pop the back of the truck open and just grab motherfuckers. You know, they knew who they was looking for.
Well, listen, we're going to follow it, man, and we definitely...
And, and to all the illegal immigrants, fuck these motherfuckers in they raids. That's some bullshit. Take it from me. I done been in raid about 10 times. It ain't really that motherfucking big of a deal. They come through, they kick the door in, they take you down to jail, and you get out in a little bit. So the motherfucking raid.
Yeah, but you know this raid is different.
I mean, make sure. See, we made sure we flushed the cocaine down the toilet, so we did get out until they start cutting off the water, and then we had to use other angles of getting rid of the cocaine. But know your law. Don't. I mean, and this, you know, I'm not joking on this shit. Don't let the motherfuckers in your house unless they got a warrant, and they don't. So just go on with your daily shit. Just, you know, sit there, watch the Dodger game, walk around the house, do what the fuck you do, and act like you don't even see these motherfuckers, because they don't have no right just to kick up in your crib.
True that.
So just know, shit, for anybody who don't know the laws, if you an undocumented immigrant, Google that shit. Say, what can I do to protect myself? I'm an undocumented immigrant. And you know, stay strong, and this is just some bullshit. It'll blow over too.
Exactly, man. Hey, but listen, man, follow
Fuck Donald Trump.
Yeah, definitely, man. We appreciate you guys, man. Always listening to us, man. Go to iTunes. If you listen to us on iTunes, please leave a review, man. Go there, subscribe, rate us, leave a review. As you know, you can get a free T-shirt. Take a screenshot of that review. Go to our Instagram page, DM us that screenshot, and we'll send you a free T-shirt, man.
Yeah,
got anything coming up, or got anything going on?
No, and also I want to say our guest didn't show up today, so we normally don't even like to talk about Trump and waste our time with that orange bastard, but our guest didn't show up today, so we had to talk about something.
Yeah, but but you know, it's Dope Dealer Podcast. You know, we always gonna keep it 100. You got a phone number that you can call us if you got any topics for shows you want us to do. Phone number is
818-335-2065. 818-335-2065.
Yeah, check us out on Instagram or Twitter, man. Shout out to our sponsor for this week, Doman Sheet Movers, the #1 moving company.